is this? Copy and paste. Let me see if I can paste that. Hey fam, it's your girl, Miss Diva Trucker. I'm coming to you today. I am live. Hey Andre, how are you? You will be in orientation on Monday. And let's see you all. I'm just coming in to say hello and let's talk about. I put the did I put it in the chat? In the chat, I am putting the link if you would like to join me on this live feed to talk about some things that you are experiencing out on the road as far as this coronavirus and as far as the rates and things as owner operators and all that kind of stuff. You'll be able to call in and or you can come on screen and talk with me if you like. Can y'all hear me okay? Andre, can y'all hear me okay? But I did put the link in the description. You will pop up before I put you on screen so I can see who you are. But let's just have a conversation. Everybody is, hey, Mom Dukes, hey, Andre, hey, Marcel, Trucking with Mike. How are you? Tammy, how you doing? Some of us are really kind of struggling, you all, with what's going on out here with the rates and things like that. What happened to the Hero Fund? Looks like the bill or proposal has died. I know it looks like. Let me tell you, all these funds that are being available, you know, the drivers out here, like being on the road, and you all that are continuing to work through all of this, now we're looking at rates not as high as that they was. Owner operators maybe struggling now. Some people are choosing to go home, and a lot of us was not privy to some of the money that they was giving out, such as the stimulus check, and then they promised the EIDL check that you're supposed to get $10,000, then they changed it down to $1,000. And now with the PPE, I don't know how many of PPP, paycheck protection, I don't know how many people was eligible for that, but they had run out of money for that. So drivers may find themselves not being able to access some of these funds because they've already went through a lot of the money, for the people that hadn't been working. But we thought maybe we was going to be, hey, Married to the Miles, we thought that we was going to be okay driving trucks and everything because we was able to work and things like that. But owner operators are starting to feel the wrath, okay, as far as rates. I just not too long got off the load board looking at some loads and what they was going for, because I can actually see the rates, okay. And what I see is I see shipper rates, okay. A lot of you all, when you are on the load board like DAT load board or internet truck stop or whatever, you can't see the rates until you call the broker to see what the broker has that rate for. But fortunately, I'm able to see the shipper rates because I'm on a different board, okay? And even the shipper rates are going, some of them are going as low as 50 cents. I've seen a couple of loads coming out of Florida that picks up tomorrow. And the federal government released more money for small businesses. Well, that'll be good. I know with my credit union, the credit union that I bank with, they the system crashed. So about time they got the system up and running, the money was already gone. So nobody that had a business at my credit union that I'm a part of was able to apply for anything. So the credit union felt so bad that they wasn't able to get their business owners in the loop for the money, that they just gave everybody that had a business $500. And I was like, what did I get $500 for? And it was like, because the system crashed and nobody's application went through and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, wow. But I want to talk to you about some alternatives if maybe going through a difficulty. Hey, Miss Tamara, I follow your YouTube videos, getting the LLC set up. Yeah, get the LLC set up. Make sure you get your employee identification number, your tax ID number. Make sure that you open you up a business account, because now they're saying that some of you all, even you are self-employed. A lot of us don't have separate business accounts being self-employed. So that's one thing that you want to make sure that you have. Drivers that have been laid off can apply for unemployment. Yes, you can. I actually took last week, and I took a couple of days off because I have so many family members that are out of work. I have so many family members that are out of work that that I took off Saturday and Sunday just to put in their unemployment, so they could start getting that coming in. Like my son's 27 years old, and I filed his unemployment for him, and he was able to get assistance and be able to pay his rent, because I don't want it to fall on me. Okay, so I had to make sure that my family was okay, especially the ones that are out of work, my nephews and all of them, to make sure that I filed for them, to make sure that they was getting their money. Because if not, they're going to start turning to the family members that are working. Okay, so we don't want that burden to be on us. So we're trying to get them all the assistance that they need. A lot of people are having problems with their stimulus checks, about getting payments for that and things like that. So it's just a lot that's really going on. And it's not going to be enough. And now we as drivers, we're kind of worried as well. There was some loads coming out of Lakeland, Florida, that was like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 cents coming out. It had a lot of those. Now step deck and flatbed, they still doing $3-4 a mile, but sometimes those are far and few between. But you got to realize, when you're getting out there on the load board and you're searching for loads, it's best that you know the area. It's best, everybody knows, if you're an operator, that you're going to get paid more money to go into Florida, and sometimes you just get your fuel to get out of Florida to get something maybe in Georgia to get you somewhere else. But now on an operator, some of them are barely getting money to pay their fuel. So you can imagine, if there's a load on a load board and it's showing, and this is on the inside load board. Okay, this is not where we put the load out to the regular load board where everybody can choose from it. This is just on the inside of the load board. So when you're looking at the inside and the loads are 80 cent, 90 cent, they still got to take the percentage off of that, So drivers right now are kind of contemplating making decisions whether they should park their truck, collect unemployment, or whatever the case may be, or continue to try to run. But it's going to be very difficult and very hard for people that have a high fixed cost. So before this was even going on with the race, as it were, when people are teaching you about being an owner operator, the main thing that they focus on with you is to teach you how to run your truck, how to know your cost per mile, and also how to keep your fixed costs low. okay, because you never know what may happen. So that's why you need to do that, so you can be able to survive through these tough times. So you see people out here that have older trucks or trucks that are already paid off or things like that, because they know, sometimes it's good, and you can run and make all this kind of money and things like that, but they do remember the times back in 2008 or earlier times where it wasn't like that. So people remember that. So when they have to go through this again, they're like kind of, prepared for it, right? Um, what's going to happen? What I think is, if the rates don't get, any better, this is just certain areas, you can still get those. I was looking in Houston, Texas, because I wanted to know why they were, rioting down there, or holding up the highway in Houston, Texas, and they was blaming the brokers. Well, a lot of the drivers that was down there, it must have been the port or something, uh, um, in detail with the port or something, because it was a lot of like Spanish speaking drivers. So it wasn't like, and I looked at the load board in Houston, so loads down there are still lows down there are still coming out at lows down there are still coming out at a dollar or something a mile, $2 a mile. You can get some lows out of Houston for $2 a mile. The lowest that I saw that was coming out of Houston tomorrow was maybe $1.10 or something like that, but it wasn't as bad as Florida is coming out of Florida. So I think it had to do with something in particular that those drivers pulled, because they were saying that they would, I guess the drivers, the brokers or whatever, didn't pay them. A lot of people I see that are blaming, maybe, brokers, that I hear a lot of times that the brokers are sitting home like fat cats, and, they collecting all this money and things like that. But you have to realize too, the shippers are the one that dictate the rates. Okay. So a lot of times it's not the brokers, what the shippers decide to do. I mean, they may have had people that are laid off. They may not be operating because we're focusing on so much of a certain commodity right now. Everybody's wanting toilet tissue. Everybody's wanting sanitizer. Everybody's wanting Lysol. Everybody's wanting a certain thing, and these other things that usually move may not be moving as much. So they're the ones that's dictating the rates. Do I see, like, and when I'm looking at the shipper rates and I'm seeing what the shippers are giving for the loads, do I see that that they're just brokers are taking a big cut of it? Not on the low board that on, because one thing about the low board that I'm on is that the BCOs can see what the agents get the load for. Okay. Except for like when you're out there on a carrier can't see it. So a carrier won't know what the load go for, what we get it for as a shipper rate. But with this load board, the BCO knows what exactly the broker is getting that load for. So that's one plus to that. When it goes out to the load board, then it's everybody's guess. So I guess you could do what you want on the load board. You can take as much as you want to, as long as you can get it moved. But that's why it's so important that we learn how to effectively run our business, and a lot of it has to do with learning the other side of it. Yes, being a driver is one part of running your business or whatever the case may be, but also take time to learn about the other side of it, of where these rate comes from, and how the rate is set, and what's the trend, and what did the load move for the last 15 days. And you got to be conscious too of of what other drivers are taking it for. You know, people are not going to give you a load for $2.50 when they got drivers out here all day taking it for $1.50. So is that the broker fault, or is it people that don't, maybe they expect, and it's not that they don't know how to run a business. Their expenses may be low enough that they can take it for that and still generate a profit. Um, as far as trucks right now, y'all are asking me questions about, is it a good time to go buy a truck, lease a truck? Right now in recruiting, you all, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have a lot of people that's going into leasing right now, especially if you got these payments that are $600-700 a week and you're trying to pull loads off the load board. It's like, to me, it's suicide. Okay. um if you are already in something like that and you're trying to survive like that, um, you know, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. The best thing that, you know, and this is just my opinion, you all, the best thing I would do is try to maybe get on or lease on with a company that has customer freight right now. And even customers are cut down on their customer freight, you know, so it's everywhere. When I'm delivering like candy and things like that, we was putting Easter candy, y'all know, we was putting Easter candy in the stores and delivering that months ago. And then um, when it hit the stores, the Easter candy was already 50% off before Easter even came. You know, so these people are going to take a hit on that because they expected profit from getting the Easter candy out. So it's going to affect a lot of different divisions in the commodities of what we move. Cars, you know, people are not thinking about going or buy a new car right now. They're going to hold on to what they have because they're thinking about, you know, what's going to happen. They may not have the money to go out and purchase a new car. Um, and you may have to, you know, some people are thinking about putting their authorities on hold right now, and maybe going to a company that they can get a set rate or they know what the rate is. Even here at LTI, the owner operators just got notices from going from 65% of the load. Now they're going to be at $1.10 effective May the 2nd. So companies are choosing to do different things. Some companies are laying off drivers. Some companies are asking drivers to take pay cuts. Some companies are taking drivers off a percentage, like mine did. Mine today took drivers, anybody that brought their truck in, effective May the 2nd, they will no longer be on 65% of the load. They're just not getting that money like they was. So instead of laying drivers off or drivers not having loads to run, they cut the percentage from 65 to $1.10 plus the fuel surcharge. And everybody knows the fuel surcharge is not going to be that much because of the oil, the gas, the diesel, the prices are low. Um, so it's going to be a hard time for us, especially with this pandemic and everything that we will maybe get to see things, you know, when stuff start to open back up and people start returning back to work. At first I was like, yeah, everybody at home, we could just get out here and run and do what we want and make all kinds of money and all that kind of stuff. But now these people being at home is affecting us overall, you know, with them not working in the warehouse, with them not making products, with them not doing these things. It's really going to spread out throughout. Let me read your comments. Let me see. We should hold our brokers more accountable for their actions because the shipper rates stay the same according to the contract they have. And trying to charge. Well, if you're a broker that's on a low board, you may not have like a contract like the mega carriers. Now, who would take the freight for 90 cent, 80 cent, or whatever the case may be? Some of the mega carriers. So the mega carriers are going to have to cut these people off percentage and get a company driver to run the load, because they may be paying the company driver 38 cent a mile, and if the load is paying 90 something cents a mile and the fuel is low, they still might be able to make some money. Is it not a no? It's definitely a great time to be a truck driver, because you will have a job. We're talking about maybe independent operators, people that are on their own authority, people that have their business, people that have overhead, people that have expenses. It's just going to be a little tough to survive or make it through. Can you do it? Yes, they've done it before. We just have to readjust and find different ways so that we will be okay. And some of that may be putting authority on hold for a minute, going leasing under a company. That might be a choice for some people. Some people might just have the choice of, no, I got other things going on, I'm gonna just stop running the truck off completely and do something else for a little bit. So there's other options. Business owners, independent operators are very creative. When you're an entrepreneur, you become very creative in learning different things, so that if you've been in a business a long time or whatever the case may be, you know how to survive through these times. This ain't nothing new. You can only expect the rates to be so high. It has to come back down. People tell you that it has to come down and readjust, and sometimes the market gets oversaturated. So how you get back, you got to, some people gonna have to go out of business, to readjust. Who's going to survive? The mega carriers going to survive. Why? They done been through this before. They know how it is. So they're going to start making their cuts and things like that. But if you only a one truck operation or a five truck operation, where do you cut? What do you do? If you just ain't got 5, 6, 7, 8 trucks, where do you cut? What do you do? This will be a good time if you had like a Penske truck or something like that, somewhere that you're not really under contract, that you could turn those trucks back in if you need to. So there's different places you could contract on to carriers to make sure that your drivers are okay, make sure that you're able to survive. And then when it bounces back, and it comes back, because it will, okay, then go back out there and do your thing, and go back under your authority and run your business. But it's just that, and who support themselves, it's the mega carriers are they're going to come together, and they're going to, like, I feel like they're going to help each other out, because they don't care about the independent contractor. They don't care about that one truck, two truck, small fleet operation. It's going to be these mega carriers are going to come together, and they're going to help each other. They buddy. I wish, as an independent operator, or that we had a collective of somebody that could fight for us and things like that, but we just don't. Everybody is so separate. We worry so much about if a person is a lease operator, or owner operator, got their own authority. I feel like we fight over so much of the small things, and when this stuff hits, it hits everybody. It doesn't just hit one person. You don't see Swift and Knight and JB Hunt and CR England. You don't see them fighting like that. You see what I'm saying? So everybody kind of, they're going to work together to make sure that they okay. It's going to be big bank take little bank all day. And that's what it is. So hopefully, we'll get through it. Everybody will get through it. There's people that had trucks and went back to being company drivers, and they got their money right again, and then they go out there and do it all over again. There's people that maybe have 5 trucks that may downsize to 3 trucks. So there's a lot of different things as a business owner and an entrepreneur that you can do. I've always talked to you all about making sure, especially in times like these, to have different streams of income. You see what I'm saying? You know, you need to be knowledgeable of things, just besides driving a truck, you know, learning the other side of it, being an agent, being a dispatcher, be as many things that you can be to your business, so that if one part of it is lacking, the other ones will take care of itself. You see what I'm saying? I am doing, y'all know I don't talk about Arise that much, but I do feel a need that, you know, some of the work at home jobs that I offer may be available to some, may be interesting to some of you all. Right now, I got Home Depot, which is a work at home position. It starts on May the 18th, which is my birthday. I'll be 49 years old. That class is $9.99. Okay, so for an investment of $9.99, you can be in class, take that class. It does take you about 3 to 4 weeks to complete, but after you finish the class, it pays $15 an hour. Okay, I mean, you already at home getting unemployment. You might as well take some money and invest in yourself and get you a work at home job. Okay, why you at home? In case they don't call you back to work. Another one of my jobs is roadside assistance. My roadside assistance course is $59. That money does not go to me. It goes to the people that teach the course. Okay. When you pay that money and you miss your class, you do not get your money back. Okay. I've been doing this since 2017. I don't talk about it a lot, but in times like this, we all are looking for other ways that we can make money. That class also starts on May the 18th as well. They do have morning classes and afternoon classes. That job pays $10. You are an independent contractor. I do not tell you when to work, what time to work, or what day to work. Okay, you work whenever you feel like working. You do have to work 15 hours a week in order to satisfy your contract. Okay. The other one is energy. I think that's like a light bill company, and you're doing customer service. That class is $49. It starts on May the 4th, and it is $10 an hour. Okay. So they change every day, but I do like to come and tell you all about some of those things. Uh, excuse me. I do have, like I told you, try a company that is taking on operators right now. They're paying 70% of the load. So if you find yourself struggling out there on a spot market and you're looking for a company that has high value loads, I would say, because you have to have a security clearance for this company. If you're looking to be a company driver, they have a guarantee, I think, of $1,100 to $1,300 a week. You will be going to military bases. You have to have a hazmat, tanker, and a TWIC card, okay? And they do 48 states, okay? We're looking for jobs that you can make your money, you can save your money, you can take care of your family while you get through this tough time, and you can continue to, do your thing and go back out there when everything comes back up. I'm sorry, I didn't read your comment. Let me see. For a small company, just gave us notice with a pay cut. Yeah, companies. Look at Michael. Michael and guess the company. Yes, Michael, that's my new contract. I just got them about a week ago. So I am working, getting them drivers. A company that I don't have anymore, that don't need me anymore, is because they're cutting back and hiring. I don't have JB Hunt anymore. Okay. And that's just because right now they're not doing a lot of hiring. They're making changes, they're making sacrifices. Everybody is looking at everything right now to make sure that they are trying to do what they can to keep jobs, whether it's lowering the pay to still keep people working, or whether it's laying off people until this is all over with. Let me see. uh, so many variables in logistics. Brokers control a little bit, but this drop in numbers this far is the shippers. Yeah, yeah, it is. That's why I just said, Marco. It is it is the shippers. The shippers, um, um, the shippers dictate the rate of what it is, and they have to look at what they have. I mean, I'm not trying to take up for them or anything, but um, it's only so much you can do. Um, if they are willing, they want you to move it, you have to try to move it at the rate that they can. Yes, you can go back, and you have tools that you can look at and see, so that you just not so far in the dark. You have tools you can see, what that freight moved at for the last 15 days, what that freight moved at for the last 30 days. You can see what the trend of the rate was, so you can tell if somebody is just lowballing you. If you looking on that low board, some of the low boards that you have, they're going to tell you what is the low end, the average, the high end of what that rate could move in. Even when if I go and quote a load to a shipper, I'm gonna be able to look at the area and tell them, hey, look, this load comes out of this place for this amount, and try to meet them there. Not all the time can I get that high rate that I want. Everything is negotiable right now. You know, um, let me see. Open spots at nighttime when they normally jam packed full. Yeah, I was just surprised when I was over here in St. Louis and I was over at the Flying J and the Loves, and you know how you have the front area at the Denny's or whatever the case may be. It was not one spot open for a truck. It was all filled with bobtail trucks. So, but it was like older trucks. It was older trucks. They just parked their truck at the truck stop. It was like, see y'all later. Um, Now more states are requiring us to wear masks. So if you don't have masks, I think your employer or whatever the case may be should be providing you all the mask and the sanitizer. With these companies that's starting back to open, like in Georgia and some other places that plan on opening this weekend and next week and things like that, they can't even find sanitizer. So how are they going to open up these stores or these markets, and they're supposed to be trying to help protect, and they can't even find sanitizer themselves. But yeah, most of these places or a lot of places are requiring you to still wear the mask and things like that. Um, what else? We are Desiree with the Real Women in Trucking and some of the other organizations are constantly working on getting food trucks to the rest areas. And they have been approved in certain areas like Arizona. California is starting to let food trucks at the rest areas, so that drivers can, get food and things like that. Parking is a big issue. They want to have more parking spaces available, but that's always been a big issue. That wasn't because of the pandemic. That's always been a big issue. Let's see. Oh, y'all, I forgot to tell you, Arkansas restaurant. Remember the Browns restaurant? I went, where's that off of 44, is it, or 35, or one of them highways? Brown's restaurant where all the truck drivers go. They have this big buffet and everything like that. They have been in business for 47 years, y'all, and they are closing. Okay, they are closing. They will be no more. So they had very good food, and I'm just glad I was able to get a chance to go and visit. Remember, they had that big long buffet, and then you go on the other side, and they had all this candy that they made. That candy, and then you walk upstairs, and they had this like store that you could buy stuff, and drivers would come and get them something to eat and buy and stuff because they had truck parking right over there. If you look back on my videos, you'll see a video I did at Brown's restaurant in Arkansas. Um, let's see. I study stuff and recheck how to do this every day. I study stuff in my sleep. Promise providing masks and hand sanitizer. Oh, y'all wanted to know about going to school. Yes. You can still go to school, okay? The only problem, like I say, you may have is that some trainers may not want to train because of the virus, and they don't want to get the COVID-19 or whatever the case may be. But and that might prolong you from getting a trainer, maybe. But other than that, y'all, with the big companies, business is as usual. They still taking students. They are. I just put somebody at U.S. Express last week, and he told me they had over. He said it was about 75 drivers. He said they had so many drivers they didn't even have trucks enough for the drivers over there at U.S. Express. So yes, you can still go to school. Some people, some companies are on hold, but the ones that are not on hold, they are taking advantage of the companies that are on hold right now. Okay, I did get an alert saying that some students cannot be hired out of New York and New Jersey, or drivers can't be hired out of New York and New Jersey at this time. That was only like one company that sent an alert out. Um, but as far as jobs are concerned, when I lose a contract, it's not, it's just that they are at their limit. That means that we did our job. If I do my job and I do it to the fullest, then I won't have them as a contract anymore. And then whenever they need drivers again, then they will, open it back up. Say, hey, we need you to help get drivers in the door. Um, Let me see. Can you get a permit through them because the DMV in my area? And that's the only holdup is getting a permit. So if people already have the, and some states was making certain hours for people that was coming in to get their commercial vehicle, like the permits and stuff for commercial vehicle. So they was making some appointments and things for that. Some schools have where you don't have to come in with your permit. You can get it when you get to the school if that school is available. Now, Swift does have some places that no, but they making all mine come in with a permit. All my people got to come in with a permit. Not only that, they got to come in with a DOT physical. So, so if you think getting your permit is challenging, get your DOT physical as well. Um, they're looking at ways to test you without the trainer being in the truck. Like they're looking at different ways that you can be tested out without another person being like physically in the truck. I don't know if they're trying to do it through video, but that's still in, I guess, discovery mode. Um, what else? Training is still the same. You go out. I got a couple of refreshers, but yeah, I'm getting a lot more students. So people are coming in the industry. I get a lot more people talking about they looking for a career change. They're wanting to get in the industry because they could see now that through all this time, truck drivers was needed. And we kind of kept working. But if you're in a company job right now, you should be fine. You should be okay. The only thing that you will have to worry about is maybe getting maybe they cut the division or the account or whatever the case may be. So, but other than that, you all. Let's see. Had a permit but didn't pass the driving part yet. I have a physical. If you go to Prime, you have to have your permit. They won't accept you without it. I am leasing a truck through LTI. Do I think that's a good move? Well, you know what, item. The only thing that changed with us is that we still got our customers. We still got, our freight and things like that. The only thing it really affected, and our pay is still the same. So the only thing that it really affected was the owner operators that came in, because the owner operators that came in, they was getting 65% of the load, and they was making good because good we got good paying customers. But when those customers are not paying as much, and um, when you getting broker loads, because we do run broker loads as well. Um, so if you got to get a load out of a certain place for $1, and you got to take 35% out of that, that's crazy. So they put the owner operators on $1.10 a mile. We're staying the same. I mean, lease operators are going to stay the same. So if you was, it should be okay. You should be okay. I don't see a big change in that. Now, now they take lease operators from what they was already making, which was $1.02 plus fuel surcharge, and drop that in the lower child. It might be a problem. Let me see. How do you get your permit? You get your can you get a CDL if you have diabetes? I think you got to be on the pill, if I'm not mistaken. You got to ask the people that do the physical. Um, you got to, I think only if you are on a pill, if you're diabetic. I don't think you can have like insulin and get your CDL, but I'm not sure. That's just an opinion. That's not a fact. Um, is leasing through LTI worth it? It was worth it for me. And this is how I paid my truck off, you all. Um, I just made the decision that no matter what I do, I'm gonna stay focused, work hard, and go with the ups and the downs of the business. I don't care where you are, whether it's LTI, whether it's Prime, whether it's Swift, whether it's whatever the case may be. You got to first analyze your numbers, your costs, your bills, or what you have. You got to know if you're able to be out here and stay focused. And you got to look at that lease. If it's a 4-year lease, a 5-year lease, or whatever the case may be, you got to look at it and say, can I dedicate myself to this company for 4 years? Can I dedicate myself to this company for 5 years? And if that answer is no, then you shouldn't enter in a lease if you're trying to, buy a truck. If you're not going to stay at that company, you may want to save up your money and buy a truck from an outside company. And therefore, if it gets bad, you can move your truck somewhere else. But I knew when I signed a lease at LTI that I signed up for the period of time, and I was going to stay here, good, bad, or indifferent. Now, there's other things that I did to try to make up through the bad times that some of you all may not want to do. One of the things that I did, I stayed out longer. Okay. A lot of people got family, husband, kids, things like that at home, and you can't do that. Another thing that I did was I trained. Some people don't want to put other people. I mean, training was not easy. Y'all see me. I had some good students on my truck, and I had some ones I didn't know if I was going to even make it the next day. Okay. So I put other people on the truck. I've been training since a year after I started in trucking. And that was a way for me to make extra money when times got bad. Another thing that I did was I recruited. A lot of people picked on driver recruiters because of, you always recruit for the company and all they want you to do is recruit and this, that, and the other. But I used that as a source of income. So when things got bad, and even when they was good, I was still recruiting because I was here. I was going through the same thing that everybody else was going through, and all I did was like, hey, this is my company, this is what it's about. You're going to go to work somewhere. If a person didn't like it, they didn't like it, they could go somewhere else. But this is what worked for me. I stayed here, I stayed committed to the process. And I made money doing recruiting. So there's other ways you can make money. You can make money through, I mean, they have all kinds of incentives that you can make money as well. But you have to be dedicated to the process if you want to pay a truck off. If you start at this company and you do a lease here, and 2 years later you go and do a lease somewhere else, and 2 years later you go and do a lease somewhere else, you're not going to make your goal if that's something that you want to do. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. I don't cry many a times. I don't wanted to give up many a times. There was times that I just was like, oh my God, I don't want to do this no more, especially in the wintertime, slipping and sliding up and down the highway. Sometimes I'm bump heated at work. Then when your truck break down and you got to pay this bill, you just got out the hole. Now you're back in the hole. You still have to deal with all those different things. And if you're not in the right mindset to do that and to stay committed to the process, I wouldn't recommend doing it. If I had to do it all over again, I don't think I would be able to. I mean, because if I had to start a lease all over again right now, after I've been in the industry for 6 years, I would be 11 years in the industry before I could pay a truck off. And that's not what I want. If I had to do it, if something happened that I had to do it again, I would probably be a company driver. I do not want to go through that stress, um, that being away from home, the long time that I had to be away from home, being in the hole, trying to fight your way out the hole, trying to juggle if you can go on vacation or not, those type of things. I wasn't even in a house for the whole time. I haven't paid rent. I tried to get a little apartment. Y'all remember when I was in Jackson? I tried to get a little apartment that it was like $900 a month or whatever. I try to get settled and be in one place. And I thought I would like to have an apartment. The driver stayed at my apartment more than I did. I was never there. I was just out on the road training. So I was just throwing money away. And I just made that commitment. But if you don't want to make that commitment and you just want to come out here and have a career, make money and have benefits and be able to take care of your family and not worry about the headache and overhead of what a lease truck can do to you, I would be a company driver. Because leasing it's emotional. I mean, I went through that. It's emotional. It tags at your mental. It tags at everything. You got to go when you don't want to go. So, and I'm just thankful that I made it through, and it was by the skin of my chin, just keep going, a whole marriage gone, the kids ain't get to see me like I wanted, my family, I'm not stable anywhere, I got a niece that passed away that had that has 3 kids. I can't get the kids because I didn't have a stable place. I didn't have a stable home to put them in, so you miss things like that. And, I'm just, luckily I was at the end of my rope so I could make that change. And I said, my mother is 79 years old of age. I do not want something to happen to my mother and I'm out here on the road, driving up and down the road. I mean, at some point in time, I had to look and say, what's really worth it? What's really worth it? So would I do it again? No, not at all. But am I glad that I did it? Yes, I am glad that I did it, because one thing that I wanted to come out of the trucking industry was an asset, was something that I can have. Is it going to break down? Yes. Am I going to have problems? Yes. But I have something that's mine. Okay. And that was the biggest thing that I wanted. So no matter what, you got trucks that got million miles on it. You got people that got old trucks. I can take that truck from Biloxi to Mobile and back. I could still be able to generate a revenue from that truck because that truck is mine. My problems, my truck. Okay. So yes. And it gave me the opportunity to move on to other things, because y'all, we're getting ready. I'm not going to be talking about that truck no more. We're going to be talking about other things. We're going to I want to be able to get you all in the mindset of learning how to do brokerage, learning how to be an agent, learning how to dispatch trucks. And the reason why is because tomorrow is not promised to us. And if something happens to you tomorrow, God forbid, and you can't drive that truck anymore, I want you to be able to have a skill set that you can get and make money from home, okay, from a computer. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. You're going to be making, let me tell you something, you're going to be making 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 calls a day, okay? That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be on the phone. Hello? May I have your shipping? May I have your shipping manager, please? May I speak to the person that is in charge of moving your freight? May I do this? May, you know, you have to do, okay, can I get the, will you send me the load list? And we got 65,000 trucks ready right now for you. You know, we're ready to move it right now. You're going to be on the phone. It's not something that you're going to get in and you're just going to be making bukus of money right away. I please understand that. But just like recruiting, when I got in recruiting, nobody was calling me for no application. But I worked it and I worked it. And every time I got on this thing, I talked about my jobs, my recruiting, my all this kind of stuff. And now 2 years later, has it been 2 years, 3 years later, I'll be teaching recruiting to other people so they can build that. And I got a niche that nobody else was doing. Nobody else was on YouTube talking about recruiting that like I was talking about recruiting. And that's what I found my niche. That's what I like to do. That's what I've been doing. And it's gotten me a salary position now where I get paid to do it full time. What else? Did you stop trying? Michelle, girl, I can't get out the truck until I put somebody in there. I got 4 people that applied to work to drive my truck. I got 4 people that applied to drive my truck, and I haven't heard back from LTI as of yet to tell me. Hopefully, child, I got 4, okay? Some people can't find 1 driver. I got 4 drivers that's waiting on a word to say, okay, I'm just waiting on safety to give me 1. Just give me 1, okay? One guy told me, he said, Tamara, just leave the stuff in there. I don't care. Leave the microwave, the TV, the pink stuff. Leave all that stuff in there, okay? But my thing is, I'm not trying to work nobody too hard. I know how it is out here. I've been out here on this road. I know when people have families, one good thing, I'm not paying a truck note, so I'm able to pay my driver well. And I want my driver to stay with me and continue to run my truck so that they can make money. I can make a little money, and then they can be able to take off, let the truck rest for a little bit, and take off. So I do have 4 people that have applied to work to get my truck, and hopefully one of them will be approved to drive the truck. Okay. It's not up to me. It's up to LTI. It has to go to their safety department. That's what happens when you lease on to a company, but I'd rather that because that they go through the checks and things like that. And I'm just not, just hiring somebody all willy-nilly, but they will work for me. They will get paid directly for me. And, my thing is, I'm be so busy doing other things. Don't bother me. I ain't gonna bother you. No, that's what I want, but I can't wait. I can't wait for them to take over and do their thing and run how they want to run and feed their family and take care of whatever they need to take care of. Y'all look at Ripley. He is, let me show y'all Rip. Rip, say hello. Say hello. But I ordered, y'all see that? I never had crabs like that. It's crab legs with shrimp. And the reason I'm sitting here in this hotel, y'all, is because my load is not ready. And you know what? When my load ain't ready, Miss Tamara ain't finna sit there and wait on it. How about you call me in the morning when it's ready. We can go take a shower. Me and Ripley can relax for the night, and we'll get up in the morning and go get it and run it up there real quick. I'd rather do that than to be sitting in that parking lot waiting on waiting on a thing. I mean, they got the trailer. They don't need me with the trailer. They got the trailer. All you gotta do, they got a yard a spotter, whatever who he is. All you gotta do is put it in the door, child. You don't need me to do all that. Put the thing in the door. I'll be back to get it in the morning, child. I'm going to get me something to eat. I'm going to take me a shower and relax. How about that? Let's see. Can I be number 5? Come on, Brian. Come on, get in the truck. I don't care. Y'all come get the truck. Hey, Shay World. Shay, why you won't come drive for me, girl? Come on, get this truck, child. How is LTI freight? LTI, we do a lot of candy. So we got a lot of customers. We got Conagra, we got Miracle, we got Nestle, we got Pinnacle. We got and we're LTI. We're not too small, and we're not too big. Okay. I like to see when I come to the yard and we ain't got no trailers sitting there. Because if we ain't got no trailers sitting there, that means that all our trailers are out and they are being used. We got a lot of dropping hooks. We run refrigerated. And we got Hershey accounts. We do ice cream. So we got a lot of good customers. So, and LT, I've been in business for a very long time, and before he would even, consider cutting drivers, that inside will be cut first, honey. People had about 3 jobs, child. You got people that's in charge of the shop, in charge of this. They got about 4 jobs inside, okay? So and it's family oriented. It's owned by one owner, and you got a son, and it's just, they don't bother me. I don't bother them, and I just do my job, and that's it. I get my loads from my dispatcher. They don't, where you at, or like I came to get my load. My load don't pick up till in the morning. And it's a drop and hook. I made my arrival. They'll ask me, well, where you going? You can't move the truck and all that I don't deal with that. I drop that trailer right there at the customer. It's on their yard, and they can load it when they get ready, and I'll pick it up in the morning. Ain't nobody stressing over this stuff. Let me see. Going to Dallas tomorrow. We just right. That's Cheryl. Cheryl worked for LTI. Ida worked for LTI. It's a lot of people on here that work for LTI, but we just do our thing. We don't need no babysitter now. You just give us the stuff and let us go. We all grown around here. We know how to. These folks over here, they've been driving trucks for whatever. So we just get what we need to get and go. Sometimes, just like any other company, I might be in a door, for a long time, especially on a broker load or something like that. But I adjust. I'd rather be here than to be trying to be out there trying to find a job all over the place. And I know what they do here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they do everywhere else. So, but other than that, oh, and another thing about lease, y'all, I want you to be careful, read your lease. I don't agree with leases that have a huge buyout. That's my biggest thing, okay? Is that after you are in a lease for 4 or 5 years, I feel like that truck should be yours, all right? I don't feel like you should be having to come up with another $20,000, $30,000, because at the end of the 5 years, even if you got a brand new truck, like for instance, my truck is worth maybe about $40,000. Okay, a 2016. It has 500 something thousand miles on it, I could probably get about $45,000 for the truck. Okay. Why would I have to come up with another like balloon, a $30,000 balloon payment? That's just crazy. Look at leases like that. Look at a lease where once you get finished with that truck is yours. No balloon payment. I do not agree with any of that. Okay. Um, it should be a straight payment. And once you finish with it, it's yours. That's it. But other than that, y'all, did y'all have any other questions for me? Um, Michelle told me it's a dollar buyout. Yeah, they gotta charge you $1 to for the sale or whatever the case may be. But please don't get in no leases that have a 40, $30,000 buyout. You'll never complete that. You know, if you don't have $30,000 in 4 years, you're not gonna have it when you get ready to pay that truck off. It's just too many things that can happen. So that's setting up for failure. Um, but yeah, just be careful, y'all. It's times are hard right now, and we just have to do what we have to do to survive. And like like, and if I find some good deals on trucks, I mean, you could buy a cash truck, like a little international post off about what, 10, $15,000. Not too old. You can make it. You can go work at the port or do something with that truck. You could buy cash. You could save up your money. I want to work on credit. I want to, help people with their credit. I want to help people with their business credit. I want to help people, do stuff like that. And I can't do it with just being in the truck. So those are some of the things that I want to go work on. So hopefully I paid my deposit on my house. So hopefully I'll be there on the first. If not, I don't know. So I'm trying my best to get somebody in it, and I'll just continue to run. And whenever I do find a driver and they're ready to take the truck over because they got to go to orientation for like 2 or 3 days or whatever, and I still got to go a week of learning the LTI system and the LTI way for recruiting. And but as soon as my driver get here, child, I'm gonna grab my bag and I'm gonna be running out the door. I'll be running out the door trying to get to the house. My driver gonna be calling me. Y'all see Tamara? Child, it's gonna go to voicemail. You talking about can't get in touch with me? I'm gonna be like, oh, that's my driver. What they want? and another reason why I don't want to move the truck right now is because of all of this is going on, and I know that LTI is going to take care of my truck. And if my truck breaks down, they're gonna have somebody come get it. It'll be towed to the yard. The maintenance account is set up. There's maintenance money in the account for if anything that happens to the truck. So I just think at this time, the best thing for me is to leave my truck here, because if anything happens to that truck, um, leaving it here at LTI, they're going to make sure it gets back to the yard. They're going to make sure that it gets fixed. They're going to make sure that it's okay. I don't have to have that headache of, am I going to be able to find somebody, or is my driver going to be stuck on the side of the road, or, do I have to call a tow truck? It's a weekend and a holiday. Do I have the money to pay for that? Can I access my maintenance, my escrow and things like that? No, I'm good. I move differently, and maybe some people won't agree how I move, but it's just the way I'm okay with, and I'm fine with that. So, other than that, did y'all have any other questions? I'm currently working on starting up my own business, owner operated. Yes, that would be great. Look at Jermaine. Look into you don't want to look into the Amazon stuff. I might be teaching people how to drive a truck in Mississippi. I want to open up maybe have a little driving school. I heard they get what, $4,000 to teach them how to drive. Child, I've been teaching them how to drive for 5 years. I need to go get that. Come on here and get behind this wheel. Come on. Watch that turn over there. Swing wide. Get them an automatic truck. It won't be in no manual, child. I'll tell you that. I'm about to get discount pricing for the manual. You done got your permit. You got your DOT physical. Here, come on, let's go ride around the corner. And we're gonna go to the DMV and go take your test, and that'll be $1,500, please. And then you can go over there to Swift and let them teach you the rest. Okay? Yeah, we're gonna do that. How about that? I got to figure out what the rules and regulations to have third party driving like they do in Dallas. Because Dallas, they give you a video and then they take you, you meet them down there. I'll meet them down there at the DMV. Come on, that's $1,500. Go on and take your test. There's a lot of people that know how to drive don't want to go to school. So I can do that. There's a lot of things I can do. Uh-oh. What companies you work with for owner operators? James, I have, I got a lot of I got Great Wide. Um, that's an owner operator. I got Arnold. I got um who where you could bring your truck in. I got Tri-State, like somebody said. I like Tri-State. Tri-State ain't playing. Okay, I could work with them. Tri-State pay you over there. They want you to have a lot of stuff, but dirty, you have a check at the end of the day. They got a guarantee paid over there. They paying on the operators 70% of the load. So if you carrying them military loads and all that kind of stuff, you finna make some money over there. And then they 48 too. I think they got the explosives. Do they got the explosives? Imagine doing a flatbed over there. You're gonna make some money over there. And they help you with your clearance. Oh, A. I'm trying to go through the alphabet. A, B, C, D. I got a lot of them. I just can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but I just have to look it up. Other than that, how long have I been on here? I've been on here an hour. Okay. I just wanted to come talk to y'all. I miss you. And sometimes I can get it in, but tonight I can get it in because I'm here in the hotel. But I'll just be out there working. If y'all know anybody that want to come get on my truck, tell them to holler at your girl. All right, y'all. Peace, love, joy, and happiness. And y'all have a wonderful and blessed night. Be safe out there. And, just continue to push. We're going to get through it. All right. I'll talk to you all later. Bye. Arnold is, I think they're 40 something cent a mile. Yeah, Arnold is 40 something cent a mile. But it's a lot of them. Give me a call. Y'all got the number 800-620-9235. Give me a call. What you waiting on? I got you. Bye, y'all.